Hello and welcome to the Data Career Academy podcast. This is a show dedicated to closing the information gap between data job seekers and hiring authorities about the challenging data analytics job market. My name is Albert Bellamy. I'm the host of the show, and it's my goal to highlight aspiring data analysts and their abilities in order to get them hired, to spotlight recent hires and how they successfully navigated the hiring process, as well as to find out from real industry experts what the job market looks like from the hiring side and how all of that can benefit you, the listener. So let's get into today's episode. We start talking, and then I just say, "Hey, it's B-roll. We'll see if we can make a highlight clip out of it or something sometime down the road." But cool. All right.
All right.
Okay, here we are with Taqi Patrick. Taqi is a job seeker. Full disclosure, Taqi and I have met before. He was a student in one of my early classes and is out there looking for a job. Taqi, I like to give job seekers the same first question. It's one you're pretty familiar with, and that is,
Wow.
tell me about yourself.
Well,
I
I mean,
suppose it's not really a question.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would answer it this way in an interview, but I mean, I'll just get the personal stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
Been married over 20 years. My daughter's a sophomore at University of Wisconsin-Madison, or she'll be starting her sophomore year this upcoming year. I've been at the same place for 22 years.
Wow.
I give you an exact amount because these days it seems like I'm counting every single year.
Yeah.
So in the public sector,
As a data analyst should.
Yeah, exactly.
Counting
Very,
everything.
very
Yeah.
attentive to the data.
Yeah.
So I've been married for 23 years. There you go. Now we could get real granular with everything here.
Mhm.
And so I work in the public sector. I do work with data on a daily basis, but not as a data analyst officially. It's, everyone has data as a part of their job. Everyone analyzes data as a part of their job. Everyone, I mean, not everyone, but a lot of times you're even cleaning the data as a part of your job. So I've, but it's not a quote unquote data job.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to move towards in the next, or hopefully the last phase of my working life. I'm also a full-time student as well. So
Okay. That's a lot on your plate. Family,
exactly.
job, student.
Yeah.
What's the actual job title?
Unemployment benefits specialist.
Okay. And so you said you're kind of data adjacent. So you're using data,
Yeah.
you're cleaning data. Tell me a little bit more about that. What are you doing that's
So
leaning you into the data field?
you're given a case assignment, and I learned early on what made me really good at my job is I could tell you what I need to be working on at this exact moment. And all that is like not a very advanced filter and sort. And for it, I mean, I use an Excel spreadsheet. I've maxed the hell out of the Excel spreadsheet. I forgot to mention and tell me about, I mean, I do have like decades of tech experience, data experience, as I like to say, in 2025.
Mhm.
So I mean, I've done a lot with VBA on that spreadsheet, and it color coordinates things for me. It sorts them all out, so I know exactly what I need to work on at that exact moment. And the cleaning part of it is just making sure that the dates are where they're supposed to be, the names are where they're supposed to be, that it's actually the right issue that's going to be categorized correctly. So
Okay. And so you're building automations and things in with VBA to sort that out?
Yep.
Nice.
It's a lot of it is VBA
Okay.
and I think it's a lot more fluid than if I were to, like, I've seen other people that don't have the tech skills use a spreadsheet, they use a filter and then they filter stuff out forever. And um I'm not really sure. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, this spreadsheet's been around for probably more than 15 years at this point. So a lot of the new stuff in Excel even with tables, that I don't think that was a really big thing about 15 years ago in Excel, making a table in Excel and having to sort on a table.
I don't remember doing it until, I'll be honest, my buddy Matt Bratton taught me how to use tables probably for 3-4 years ago.
And you didn't use a mouse, right?
You know, my skills pale in comparison to Matt. I still require a mouse with my spreadsheets. That we've all got the ideal, the no
Yeah.
mouse club. It sounds good in theory. I don't know that my Excel skills will ever get to that level, but it sounds like I never messed with VBA, so it sounds like you're doing some high level stuff.
Yeah, it's high level, but it's not like Stack Overflow level.
Yeah. Oh,
If
yeah.
you get what I'm saying, because like
Yeah.
I'll see stuff on Stack Overflow, I'm like, these guys are like talking a different language. I could decipher it, I could break it down, but that's not how I'm writing my codes and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're all speaking a different language, but they couldn't tell a waiter that he got their order wrong. So
Well, yeah,
there's trade-offs
well,
in everything.
that's a whole nother topic, and like the famous verbiage is if you want the right answer on Stack Overflow, post the wrong answer or
Oh
something
yeah,
along those
and
lines.
wait.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
and I think Stack Overflow is still better than AI.
Yeah, there's something to my 2 cents. There is something to finding the answer, even if there's trial and error,
Oh yeah,
and then there's going and crowdsourcing. Those are skills,
yeah.
and you've got to suss out what's right and what's wrong, regardless of the source. Same thing with AI. I mean, you
Oh,
you
big
ask
time.
AI, it's going to lie to you, and it's going to hallucinate, and it's going to say some goofy stuff, and you've got to have enough level of expertise to be able to suss out what's right and what's wrong. Um, so yeah, there's an art form to all of it. But yeah,
Big time.
there's no kind of all-seeing eye where you can just be like,
Not
give
yet.
me the perfect answer. Yeah,
Yeah.
not yet anyway. So tell me about the next step. Like, what are you looking to move on to? What's your search look like? Juggling between job, family, and school.
So school is a new
What else
thing.
you got going on?
So yeah, like like last year, I had two opportunities I was going through
Hmm.
networking. Well, no, one of them I was going through networking. The other one was my job at with the state, a
Okay.
data analyst job with the state. And I felt at the time I wasn't interviewed. I didn't even get an interview for the data analyst job because of I don't have a bachelor's degree. And I
Okay.
felt like, this has been a reoccurring theme for me throughout the years because I didn't have a bachelor's degree way back, when I was trying to quote unquote break into tech 20 years ago and currently. So that's why I decided to pursue. The same thing happened with even though I had the side door into this other job,
Hmm.
they ended up going with another candidate who had quote unquote more education than me.
Okay.
So that's why I decided to start pursuing the bachelor's degree.
Okay. How close are you?
I still got a ways to go.
Okay.
So the irony is they took all my like the liberal arts credits, but all the tech credits they didn't take because it was so long ago.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah,
So
that's a tricky one.
so
You're going to college at the same time as your kid?
Yeah. Yeah. And
That's
my
awesome.
joke is I'll finish before she does.
Yeah.
But I'm taking a really difficult class now. So this is her revenge. She's like,
Okay.
this is what I have to put up with all the time. I mean, a lot of the classes that I've taken so far, I've got a lot of knowledge already. So it's like, okay, this isn't my first time with this. So I have a networking class now. First time with wireless security. First time with all this different topologies that have emerged since the last time I took a class like this. Bluetooth. I mean, it's just like, okay. And then they throw security on top of it. So
Yeah.
I gotta.
Is it a CS degree? What is it you're studying?
It's data analytics.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I've firmly planted my flag into data analytics.
Okay.
I'm not. We'll talk about the job market. I mean, I guess I could kind of segue not to the job market, but my next steps.
Yeah,
I'll be retiring in the next 5 years.
Okay.
And the next after 5 years, I mean, the work I'll do with the state will minimally contribute to my pension. So it doesn't matter it does matter a little bit, but not enough if I actually am and end up being able to take a step up rather than even a lateral transition.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I made a lateral transition, it probably financially is smarter for me to make the lateral transition and collect my pension than to stay there and kind of keep the wheel spinning, so to
Okay.
speak. So 5 years, I want to hopefully take a step up and get into what I used to say is tech, but now get into data. Um, so so last year I was hot and heavy on it. This year, because I'm in school, I haven't had as much time. I haven't done any projects this
Yeah.
year. Last year I was trying to do a project a week.
Wow. Okay. And where can people find those projects?
If you go to my LinkedIn, you'll find my portfolio out there. And I can't remember because it's been almost 8 months now since I've done a project, but I know towards the end I started finally figuring out like, okay, you just don't want to see my code. You want to actually see the full data analysis process.
Yeah.
So that's just something I've been carrying with me this whole year, especially with going back to school and having that, the intro to the data analytics 101.
Hmm.
What that took me back to some of that soft skill part of data analysis that I kind of got. I also have my Google Analytics certificate.
Okay.
So I mean, I guess that wasn't my introduction to data analytics, but in some ways it was, because that's when I found out there was this thing called a data analyst
Hmm.
that,
Yeah, that was a big realization for both of us, I think.
okay. And I think it was a big realization for a lot of people.
Yep.
And it was like, oh, so this is basically a database administrator, but without all the other, in the technical, there was never really a technical barrier for me
Hmm.
outside of being able to work on it. Setting up an Oracle database on your laptop, that's not going to do it. That didn't do it like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's my Tableau
Hmm.
profile.
And full
So
disclosure for the folks at home, we didn't plan this. So
yeah, no.
he talked about his portfolio. I'm looking at projects now. This was all off the cuff.
So,
Okay,
yeah,
what do we want to look at here?
but
So you had the NBA Finals one highlighted.
yeah, I
Very
don't.
folly.
So, oh wait, that NBA Finals one is one I did this year,
Okay.
because I don't know if that came up during the Data Career Academy, but this seems like this
I don't
finals
think so.
lasted forever. It seems like what's going on? Why is this finals like 3 weeks long? Usually they're
Yeah.
all through it.
Oh, they drag it out now.
But so I did the data on it, and it looks like it wasn't the longest. The longest I believe was actually the one that should have been the longest, which was LeBron's first title,
Uh-huh.
right? Or second title. First, I don't know. I wasn't prepared to talk about the NBA tonight.
It's all good. It's all good.
But
I like
it
this.
was his series versus the Thunder, so that's as close
Hmm.
as Westbrook uh, and the beer James Harden have
Harden,
gotten
yeah.
to a title. So that's a finals that you probably want to see go the longest. And the funny thing is I've been so busy this year I can't even. I think that it did go 7 games, and then Tyrese hurt. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So there was only one other time that the finals lasted as long as it did. Um, and that's not something that I would normally. That would not be a portfolio project I would put on my resume. I think one of the very first things I did in Tableau, or one of the very first data projects I did,
Hmm.
was MJ versus LeBron.
Okay.
Let's put some data behind it. And it was actually quite impressive. Michael Jordan was quite impressive. Both of them are quite impressive. But so I used the matrix, and at first I compared their first 5 championship, or Michael Jordan's first 5 championship seasons, because he has one more than LeBron.
Hmm.
And I kind of said, okay, well, these are the matrix that I'm using, and based upon that, Michael Jordan's a little bit better than LeBron. Then you bring in a Bill Russell, you bring in a Wilt Chamberlain, you bring in
Hmm.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I didn't see Wilt or Bill Russell play. I saw Kareem Abdul-Jabbar play, but he was pretty old at that point, and they just
Yeah.
blow away Michael Jordan. So I was like, okay, well, this is really interesting.
Yeah.
So, and then that was part of I was kind of, and then and we had a discussion during the Career Academy about sports analytics,
Hmm.
especially now with the emergence of betting
Yeah.
and it being legal just about everywhere now. So that's become a real competitive field. So
Yeah. It's kind of a double-edged sword. My Cleveland Guardians just got hit with two indefinite suspensions.
yeah,
Guys not fixing games necessarily, but not competing in certain situations, let's say. Anyway.
One of the professional, quote unquote, professional business-esque
Mm,
data projects I did last year was I compared weekly unemployment benefit rates from
okay.
other states, because Wisconsin's weekly benefit rate has been the same for over a decade.
Hmm.
And at the end of that, the big insight was, it wasn't about, looking at all, who's got the highest. That we already that you could figure that out. But it turns out Michigan hasn't changed theirs, and I think it was Indiana. There were two states
Hmm.
in the region of Wisconsin that have kind of stayed the same.
You were specifically looking Great Lakes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Great Lakes
Okay.
region, which is kind of tough because you're comparing them against Illinois and Minnesota. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, you might not know about this, but Illinois has always been high, and they have like
Okay.
dependent allowances. I mean, we're getting into like my
Yeah.
yeah. But
Okay.
that was one where if they would have called me for the interview, we would have discussed that project.
Okay. They were specifically interested in that one.
No, I would have went in there with
Oh,
okay,
you
let's talk
catered
about this
towards a
project
particular job.
exactly, and this
Yeah,
is kind of
absolutely.
what you would have asked me to, I would think they would have asked me to do on the job.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um, so
Why
you
do
know
you
what?
have you done any soul searching about that? Why do you think they didn't
Yeah.
call you?
So you know what? The soul searching is one thing, but one of the things. I mean, we're getting kind of ahead of ourselves, but sometimes you have to be proactive and ask,
Hmm.
because you could guess all you want to, and
Did
you
they
don't
tell
know
you?
if you. Yeah, I didn't ask. So,
Okay.
and it's this
Well,
water under
because
the
nine
bridge.
times out of 10, they're not going to tell you. And this was a
Okay.
government job?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I would say 9 times out of 10 in the private sector, they're not going to give you feedback on a failed application.
Okay.
It's just there's so much involved. There's liability involved. There's
Sure.
that. Yeah, they really open themselves up to some nasty stuff. And I've heard some horror stories. I would say in
That's,
government, it's probably even less likely
and I
because there's
didn't
probably
really,
a stack of regulations they have to follow.
despite being around as long as I have, I really didn't have a side door into that job. I don't know who
Yeah.
the hiring manager was. I don't know. Um, I didn't know the people that are currently working on the
Yeah.
data or what have you. It wasn't the data that I don't know. It was like more statistical, like I don't know, like labor statistics studies.
Hmm.
Anyway,
But I
soul
mean,
searching.
your general feeling for it. I mean, you had
My
a
general feeling was I didn't get it because I didn't have the degree.
okay.
Now, I would tell you it's because my resume was jacked up.
Okay.
That's
Was it, and where are you seeing on these jobs that you're not getting? Where are you seeing degree listed? Is it under must have? Is it a nice to
I
have? Is it
I see it almost and I haven't. The last job that I applied for, it wasn't listed, but that
okay?
wasn't a data analyst job. That was a data technician.
Hmm. All right.
Okay,
What
because
was the job description like?
um it was more data intensive than my job is currently,
Hmm.
but it was like a payroll job, but you'll be working with payroll data.
Okay.
So there was enough data. It was data intensive enough for them to put data in the job title. It was data technician.
Yeah.
So and yeah. So it was actually for the city of Racine, which is my hometown.
Oh, okay.
Not my hometown that I grew up in, where I currently live.
Yeah.
So um the thing is I didn't completely apply for that job because
Hmm.
it was kind of weird. It was off of LinkedIn, and then I got to the website and it was asking for my social security number, and then I was supposed to go
Yeah.
back and check, and I'm just too busy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the data analyst job, so to speak. It's not acceptable entry level
Hmm.
for me,
Okay.
so to
Give me
speak.
1 second.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, just during this one season, this one time of day, the sun just hits straight through the
Oh,
window
you're
and then
good.
off of the whiteboard. So if I'd let it go for another couple of minutes, it would just glare straight into the camera.
You're
Anyway,
good. I keep on forgetting this isn't live, so
yeah, no,
like I
it's all
said,
good.
my past
Even if it
experience, this
was, I
was
wouldn't
live.
care.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I mean, it was so informal. So
yeah. Okay. Cool. Any more to add on that?
Um, so, oh, the data, no. I mean,
Yeah.
the only thing I would add on to that is that data analyst could looks a lot different than it did 3 years ago, and it
Okay.
might appear differently.
Yeah,
And open
absolutely.
yourself up to different job descriptions
Yeah.
if you're struggling on finding a data analyst job.
Yeah. I mean, you got to know who you are. I mean, it's
Yeah,
got to be, you've got to be niched, you've got to be focused, but you also have to respect for the fact that, you line up 10 different companies, they're going to have 10 different names for the
yeah,
same job description. So you need to be good at looking in the job description. Now, these search engines are great. And so, a lot of times you'll throw data analyst into LinkedIn. It's not just going to show you jobs that literally say data analyst in the job title. It's there's some fuzzy matching logic there. There's some AI, you know, abracadabra there
yeah,
that does give you things that it looks at a job description and says, okay, this is a data analyst job description, but it's called data technician level 2 in that company's little insider
yeah.
gibberish. But yeah, you've got to be good at, even if the job title matches, you got to be kind of good at looking at the job description and saying, okay, does this look like a job that's going to hold my interest?
Yeah,
Because you don't want to be applying to jobs that are beneath you. Number one, you're not going to be a great candidate if you're overqualified.
yeah.
They won't consider you, and a lot of people don't know that. But the other thing is, like, just consider you're going to get bored. Like, yeah, nothing's worse than being unemployed, especially if you got bills stacking up. But the second worst thing would be having a job that's kind of adjacent to what you really want to do, but not quite there, that's boring the crap out of you. Um, interesting. You were talking about your timeline. Like, what's your job approach now? Because it sounded like you were saying, hey, you're not, on the breadline. You're not like
Yeah.
hurting for a job right now. You can keep going as you are. What's your approach been given the fact that the bills are paid and you're not hating life?
Um, when I see something interesting, I apply
Okay.
for it,
Yeah.
and we'll see what happens. And that's kind of been my approach. I mean, because it's the thing too is I'm so busy. It's kind of like it kind of does have to like kind of fall out the sky and descend onto me.
hmm
And
Yeah. Which and that's the catbird seat. That's the best place to be.
yeah, well, I don't want to be. I want to be preemptive at this point because I don't
Yep.
want to be in the situation where okay, now it's time to produce, and now I have to maybe take something that might be beneath me, something that might be boring in hopes of growth,
Yeah.
whether within the company or a stepping stone. And usually, I mean, I would say you have to go in within the company because it's not going to be a stepping stone somewhere else.
Yeah. Um, so given the fact now you've got a unique perspective on this, and given the fact that you're not fully immersed in it, like you have a ton of irons in the fire and you've got a ton of priorities on your time. So this is not something that you're devoting hours and hours every day to a job search. What's your perspective on the job market? Like how long have you been looking and what are you seeing?
I see a lot of jobs in my area, data
Yeah.
analyst jobs. Now, are those real jobs, quote unquote? Are they entry level, quote unquote
Yeah.
jobs? I mean,
Scam jobs.
well, I'm not even talking about like the classic Craigslist job. That's really like
Yeah.
it's just give me $5 and you can send your, no, we're
Yeah.
not, I'm talking, sometimes companies have to list jobs and sometimes they're not, the company isn't really, I mean, just as easy it is for you to apply to a job, it's almost as easy for a company to post a job.
hmm
So, I mean, if from an outside, and I'm not really that much of an outsider, but from the outside looking in, from my locality, especially with a search tool like LinkedIn, there seems to be a lot of jobs. Now, the competition is crazy for a data analyst job.
Yeah.
But the good news is that 75%, I believe, and I mean, I don't have any real data,
Yeah.
but I think 75% of those are those people that are just chasing money. And the very first question they always have about data analytics is, what can I do to get me in the field right away?
Yeah.
What, like, tell me, should I study Python, SQL, or? or
Yeah.
are. And then it's like, okay, well, you know what? That's where you're at. Good luck. Like you should go maybe
Yeah,
find
you're at
something
square
else.
zero.
Yeah, you're
You-
still at square
You're
zero.
you're in the yeah, you're like a freshman in high school just going to meet with
Not
their
even
guidance
that.
counselor
You're
and
like the
taking a
eighth grader.
personality test. Yeah,
Yep, you're the eighth grader, like thinking what high school's going to
absolutely.
be like. And I see like the most of the people, um, I see a lot of people like that. Not necessarily on LinkedIn,
Yeah,
but like I'll say it like if you go to Alex Freeberg's live that he does each week, you'll see a lot of people like that in the chat.
yeah. I haven't been to one of Alex's events, but yeah, back in the day, I went to a few, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty. He's pretty good at sifting
Oh, he's
through
great.
the useless questions.
And he's great at answering them too. Even
Yeah,
even if it's like, come on, man, really? Like, what should I
yeah,
study first, R or Python? Which one will get me the most money? I mean, come on.
yeah. Yeah, well, it's I mean, it still works for clickbait. I mean, you can put a post out there on LinkedIn and
Oh, that's a
look at him
LinkedIn
go. It's
or
just like
YouTube.
chum in the water.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, the sad thing is in 2025, I used to be a data analyst. The dark side of data being a data analyst. It's like,
Hmm.
okay, well, you definitely weren't the right person for the job.
Yeah,
I get it. Like, I don't know why you have to make a video about it, but okay, it's not for everybody.
yeah. So, I mean, let me ask you, if you're honest with yourself, I know you and you're evaluating all the time. What is it that sets you apart from other candidates since, there are so many applications, many of them frivolous. Um, why should somebody hire you? What do you got head and shoulders above the rest?
I have a lot of experience, um, and then the other intangibles: hard worker, perseverance, persistent, um, not scared, not
Okay.
intimidated, confident. A lot of soft skills. I mean, we could talk technical stuff too, but I mean
Yeah.
that's a given. I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, and maybe and that's a funny thing because what my resume about a year ago, the job I tried to get going through the side door.
Hmm.
Maybe this is another reason I didn't get the interview. Was they were like, do you know SQL? Like it wasn't even on my resume. Like, yeah,
Uh,
of course I know SQL.
yeah. No, what you should have done is just really dork at them and be like, you mean sequel? Hmm.
Yeah, it was SQL when I
That'll
learned it.
really impress them.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I always loved it. I actually started a class, I think last year at our company's convention. I started a class and was just that was my attention gainer, was asking people how they pronounce things. So it was,
yeah.
is it SQL or SQL? Is it data or data? Is it
Wow.
and then the class was about regex. So is it regex or regex? And then that was my lead in. So I had the little like informal poll, like show of hands. Who says data? Who says data?
I wonder if it's regional.
It is. I mean, it's international as well. Most Americans say sequel. Most foreigners spell it out. Um, regex really seems to be. It seems to be divided along the people that are just super parsimonious about language.
Hmm.
Like if they're the kind of person that will correct if they hear someone end a sentence with a preposition and they're like, those are the regex people. Because it is a, hard,
Yeah.
regular expressions. Get it? Anyway, I still say regex because that's how I first learned it. But yeah,
Why would they
those
think
data
it's a
analyst
soft
nerd points.
G then?
It's just,
It's just
why is it
cooler, I guess.
Kansas and Arkansas, man? I
Yeah, yeah.
mean, shoot, we can go all day with this stuff.
Yeah, the soft Cheetos is kind of unique. But anyway,
True. Yeah.
Jordan.
I would say it's a little easier. Rolls off the tongue a little bit.
Yeah.
Regex. Regex. It sounds weird. Okay. So since we talked about job titles, what do your searches look like? What do you type into the search bar when you put a fresh one into LinkedIn?
So as I get deeper into my data journey, I'm really thinking like I really want to be a data engineer.
That
So I
started
think,
off like an epic story, dude. I mean, that sounded like we were going for some George R. R. Martin stuff there.
yeah,
You know,
there you
it's
go.
like a deeper
Hopefully,
look
it'll
into
end a
my
lot
data
better than the
journey.
TV show did.
Yeah.
And at the
Oh, that
end,
was awful.
Jamie and Cersei, yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
nah. Read the books. Read the books, people. I'm
but
a stickler for that.
hopefully he'll finish it.
Yeah. Even if he
At
doesn't,
least we
the
got an
ones
ending
he's
on
written so
TV.
far are just brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. There's my nerd point for the day.
So
But anyway, go ahead, finish. I cut you off.
I've been sneaking looking at these data engineering jobs, especially
Mm,
because I have a lot of programming experience. I
okay.
feel like that would be a really good niche, so to speak, at this point.
Yeah.
I think I could bring a lot to that job. I think I have a lot of those intangibles already. So I've been looking at those, but I haven't dabbled into it yet.
Yeah.
So hopefully by the end of the year, I'll find time and I'll do my first data engineering project and start playing around with data bricks and making
Okay.
pipelines and stuff like data pipelines and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't. So, full disclosure, I don't have a lot of experience
Me either.
looking at data engineering job descriptions. I definitely don't have a lot of,
Yeah.
other than just joining Alteryx to other platforms. My my hunch would be that is a thing that is so experience based that counterintuitively it might have less of a degree requirement than some less technical jobs. Are you seeing that?
I haven't seen that.
Okay.
I'm going to
So
start
data
looking for
engineering
that.
jobs do require, or you just haven't
I don't
noticed.
know. I don't know
Okay.
at this point.
My instinct, that'd be something interesting to check
Yeah.
up on. Maybe we can have a little follow-up homework assignment from
Yes.
this. Um, and I'll throw that out to the listening audience if there is
Yeah.
such a thing. Um, do data engineering jobs, and I know a couple, so I'll ask them, do data engineering jobs have less of a degree requirement than, say, your average data analyst job, simply because the field is so much more portfolio dependent, prove your work dependent, like let me see your projects and the
Yes.
business impact you've had, rather than, your neato, what you can do with code and, video game data and Super Mario Brothers and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
And Magic and LeBron and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, fun with numbers. Fun with numbers.
exactly.
Everybody's got their pet topic,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with it, but yeah, fun with numbers won't get you hired too many places.
Yes. But there's
Okay.
nothing wrong with those projects as far as learning, but do
Yeah.
not.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Look,
That was
any data project is better than no data project.
well,
Like
especially yeah, especially if
sitting
it's
there
not
spinning your wheels through a Udemy class one after another, that is not the way.
and you
If you're
gotta take
playing
that
with video
project and
game
flip it.
data,
Yeah.
yes.
You gotta take it and
Um,
flip it. You gotta make it your own. You gotta go take what you've learned and apply it
yeah,
to, something that you love. If you really
yeah,
like basketball, then that's awesome. Just
yeah,
don't put it on your resume. That's the
yeah.
only thing.
And
But it's one of the best learning experiences. You're
but you
gonna learn
nailed
so
it
much.
earlier, rewind 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
You were talking about doing a specific project for a specific job.
Yeah.
If I could, I'm dating myself, but if I could Vulcan mind meld anything into the huddled masses of wannabe data analysts, it would be that in some form. Immerse yourself in work in a domain. And what you're going to find is you're going to develop expertise in that domain even without a full-time paying job. My background's in marketing. If you were to immerse yourself in marketing analytics, you were doing marketing analytics projects, you were reading marketing analytics publications, you were following, if there is such a thing, marketing analytics influencers, you would develop a level of expertise that would shine through in an interview, especially if you're focusing on that domain. So you were in, government, public sector, uh, um, welfare services and unemployment benefits, and you did projects in that, like you said, had you got into the interview room, I'm guessing would have been very compelling. Oh, this guy is dorking out on our data already. He already sees himself in the role, and that's a big leap for that
Yeah.
interview, is coming in saying, I already see myself in this job. When do we start?
Yeah.
How do I get good at it? I've already got the job. You don't want to say that, but if you give that vibe, that's half the battle, as G.I. Joe would
Yeah.
say. Okay, so let's get to the fun lightning round. Oh, we don't really have a lightning round, but so I'm a big fan of kind of focusing up on content creators because there's a ton of noise out there. And if you're trying to listen to everybody, you're just going to get the noise and you can't divine the signal. So for you, other than me, of course, what
Yes.
content creators do you subscribe to? If you can make a recommendation to others as to who to follow, who do you think?
For data analytics, you got to start with Alex the analyst, um, especially technical wise, because I've taken dozens, almost I want to say hundreds. It hasn't been hundreds. It might be 100 Udemy classes,
Wow.
and I think he's the best at
Yeah.
training. He's really good at training, and he's got a lot of stuff that's free on YouTube. And
Hmm.
if you want to hop over to his platform, I think that's really good as well.
Yeah.
Especially, I know there was someone recently who was asking me about a virtual environment, and he kind of has one over there
Hmm.
where if you're having problems getting things installed, like that doesn't need to be a barrier to you actually learning like SQL.
Yeah.
He's got like the pseudo
Yep. It's a
platform.
sandbox environment. Sure.
Yep, Sandbox. Yep.
Yep.
So I would start with I like data with Bara. I think he's like second to
Okay.
Alex. He's really good, very
That's another
thorough.
YouTuber.
Yep, another YouTuber. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one. I'll have to look
Yeah,
that up.
he's really good, really
Okay.
good. Um, and then for the business, I mean, I kind of have them like sectioned off here.
Sure.
So that's
Give
like
us
data
one more.
analyst.
We're probably gonna have to
One more.
put a bow on this, but one
Then I
more.
have to go. I have to go with Oz. If you're gonna
Okay.
do, I mean, Excel. I mean, I
Yep.
want to, and I'm leading to. I mean, you got to go with Oz. Du Soleil. I'm
Yeah.
sorry if
Oz
I
over
mispronounced it.
Layla, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
There's no
I'm
wrong
old school.
answers.
You got to, but
Yeah.
I mean, I've been watching Oz before Layla arrived,
Yeah.
and she did arrive. I mean, it took the Excel world by storm.
Hmm.
But I still watch Oz because Oz is more into data. Layla is more into
Yeah.
Excel.
She's the Microsoft MVP, and she
Yeah.
does all
Well,
the other
so is
platforms
Oz.
as well. Yeah.
So was Oz. I mean, and Oz had the whole thing with get and transform and what was it? Power pivot or
Power
whatever.
query, power pivot,
Power
power
query. There,
query.
no, you
Yeah.
got it. It was power query.
Yep.
And yeah. So I mean, and that if
Oz
I
was the
was
original X lookup stickler too, and I
yeah,
appreciated that because once I learned X lookup, I was like, why? Why is anybody still doing VLOOKUP? Please stop. And I was the ultimate stan at my workplace at the time for that. So yeah, I always Oz had the hockey jersey that said X lookup across
yep.
it. I thought that was amazing.
And the thing is like the thing that turned me on to Oz the most was he
Mhm.
said you could do anything in Excel,
Yeah.
anything,
Yep.
and that's and the other factor is when you get on that job first day. I don't know if there's going to be Python. I don't know if there's going to be R, but I bet you Excel will be there.
Yeah.
You want to impress somebody, like okay, yeah. I mean, I could take 20 minutes to do that in Python or 5 minutes in Excel.
Yeah.
And then I got to throw a shout out to Matt because I love watching his speed rounds.
Yeah. Yeah, he's great.
And
I
no
talked to Matt
mouse.
lately. Matt's gonna get back into the content creation game, and we're all can't wait because
Yeah.
he's a master of it. So okay, well, Taki, we've got to wrap this one up. What tell us where the people can find you. Where should they follow you? Where's your
LinkedIn.
content? Okay.
Taqi Patrick at LinkedIn. My first name is spelled a little bit differently than if you
Okay.
see it here. But TAQI space Patrick. Like
Okay.
you should be able to find me on LinkedIn. And you could find my portfolio there, and you could find what other things that interest me.
Awesome. Yep, folks, he is available to hire in the Racine, Wisconsin area. So give him a call and see what's what. Well,
Yeah.
Taki, appreciate having you
Thank
on,
you.
man.
I
And
appreciate it.
yeah, we'll talk soon, I'm sure.
All right.
Friends, thanks for joining me for a great show. If you'd like to hear more, I'll have the guests' contact info in the show notes below. If you'd like to get involved with Data Career Academy and find out more about what we do, please visit my website, themajordata.com. Or you can join my LinkedIn group for exclusive free content and first looks at what I'm working on. With that, Semper Fidelis, and I'll talk to you later.